Well, I didn't know I would go first. Southern accent. I'm the token Southern accent here tonight. Um, when I came to Greenville, South Carolina, I had never even heard of that city. I was recruited there in 1972. And believe it or not, from Illinois. So only in Illinois 2 years. But when I got to Greenville, I was told by someone that said there was an organization in Greenville a couple of years back that decided they wanted all these books taken off the shelves in the schools. And so they wanted the newspaper in Greenville to print passages from these books. And we've seen this before. We've seen it again and again with Pappas and other organizations. So the paper wouldn't do that. So what they did is they said, for an example of this, look on page this of a certain book. So Bill Morris, for those of you in the room who know Bill Morris, he loved this story. And Bill made me tell this story at every cocktail party he ever gave. So what the paper said is, for an example of oral sex, look on page 16 of Catcher in the Rye. Well, this friend of mine said he couldn't remember the oral sex part, so he goes to the page, and the page was Kiss My Ass. So for all those people, unfortunately, we're still fighting people out there who think Kiss My Ass is oral sex, including Common Sense Media and some of the other labeling organizations out there. So that was Bill's favorite censorship story, and one of mine too. Luckily, I never had to encounter those people who wanted that in the paper. But thank you, Joan and NCAC, for this incredible honor. It's especially special to be in the company of Rainbow and Aaron. Thank you for what you do, and we will keep defending you. Keep doing it so we can keep defending you. In my almost 4-year career, I never had a censorship case at my school. So I entered the free speech community in a very proactive way. So I want to share that just very briefly here tonight. And Joan mentioned the parent program that I started. I started this program called Communicate Through Lit, not because of anything to do with censorship, but just because I had had a wonderful experience of sharing books with my dad growing up. And he would read and hand me a book, and we would talk about it. And I thought, why don't I give this to parents? Why don't I teach them how to talk to their kids about books? Well, what happened was, I thought, if anything, maybe, this was about the time Judy Blume's books were really, out there and being censored all over the nation. But what happened is they embraced them. They embraced everything. So Voice of Youth Advocates asked me to write an article about the parent program, and I did. Judy Blume read the article, contacted me, I think about 3 weeks after the article came out, and asked if the program could be a prototype for the Kids Fund that she was establishing. So not too long after that, the Today Show came calling, and the program, Judy and I were on the Today Show, and they came down, they filmed for 4 days in my school. And we actually had an 8-minute segment, which was pretty amazing if you think about it, on the After 8 segment of the Today Show. And then Beverly Horowitz comes knocking on my door and says, Judy Blume says, you're going to get lots of mail. And I did, thousands and thousands of letters. They were from school administrators, teachers, librarians, clergy, pediatricians, community organizers. So Beverly says, let's do a booklet on how to organize one of these programs. And we did, and I believe, and Beverly's here tonight, but I think that she could tell me, but I think we did 3 printings of that booklet. So from there, I was tapped by ALA to be on their Intellectual Freedom Committee, and then brought into the fold of NCAC. And so that's kind of how I came into the free speech in a very proactive way. So my involvement with the NCAC has been, Joe mentioned, from Miami, where I was an expert witness to the Vamos Cuba trial, to Olathe, Kansas, which was an amazing trial. The kids were just amazing in that. To Cape Penelope in Delaware with the miseducation of Cameron Post, and more recently to the Highland Park, Texas case, which has been very volatile for we think it's settling down a little, but it took a lot. And in that case, what happened is a group of parents formed to actually fight the censors. And I Skyped with them over a period of time, and then I ended up flying out and holding a community-wide meeting to anyone that would come. And there were some people who were interested in censorship in the group, but we kind of brought them along. But imagine my surprise when I got there to learn that one of the young women, anybody's young next to me anymore, but young women that had formed with this parent group to fight the censors was a former middle school student of mine. So that was really special. The students is what this is all about, which is why I've always felt that teaching them First Amendment was so important. So I often would go into the classroom and help kids understand their free speech rights. And over the years, we've had some really fun times with that. But my kids at my school actually got involved with fighting a group out in the Midwest that fought Shiloh by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor should be censored because of Judge Travis says damn it in the book, and because of the Appalachian dialect. So my kids wrote letters to them, and they actually published every single one of their letters, and we won that case for them. When a case with Robert Lipsyte's One Fat Summer came up in another school in my county, my kids wrote the defense for that book, and we retained that book for that other school in that county. So I think the whole thing is to get kids involved, and that's what I hope I've been able to do over the years. And they're out there, hopefully, free speech defenders themselves. I want to thank tonight SLJ, School Library Journal, for giving me the opportunity to guide teachers and librarians across this nation as they struggle with issues related to censorship. Sarah Bayless is here tonight, who's the editor of my column, and Lou Ann Taft, who actually is the person who went to the then editor, Brian Kinney, and said, we need this column. And so for them, they have given us a voice that we, nationwide, that we would not have otherwise. And Sarah, thank you so much for your fine eye for editing. You're wonderful. This honor tonight must be shared with Judy Bloom and Beverly Horowitz, who were the first to recognize that my work was so important 35 years ago. And it's for the thousands of children and parents that I've had the privilege of serving. Thank you.